Hello everyone and welcome to my first tutorial of After Effects, and probably it's going to be the last because I'm just doing this, I don't know, I'm not an expert on After Effects, but I got this project that they asked me to create a ribbon sphere in After Effects, which was, the idea of it was to create it like being animated from the bottom to the top, and well, just let me show you what I mean. So that's it, and I'm doing this because I didn't know how to create it in 3D, and I had no idea to do that, and I was looking for tutorials and I couldn't find any. So I'm doing this so you guys can see how it's done, and it's very basic, but maybe you can find it useful. So okay, let's go to After Effects. Alright, once in After Effects, first thing we're going to be creating is a new composition. Okay, and you can do it like the size you want. I'm going to do it like HGTV 720 25, and create it like 10-second long. It's okay. Okay, hit OK. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be creating is the shape of the sphere. And the way we do that is just selecting this round rectangle tool and drawing a shape here on the top like that. And make sure to make it bigger than the size of the composition. You're going to see why in a few seconds. Just wait for it. Okay, so we have this, and we're gonna add a linear wipe effect to it. Okay, the reason why we're adding this linear wipe effect is for the animation. So we go here to the first frame and set a stopwatch for the completion. Make sure to make it 100 first. Stopwatch, move it on timeline like 1 second or so, and click 0. Okay, so what we have here, it's this thing, this shape being generated. The thing I don't like is the angle, because it's 90 degrees, and I want it to be I want it to be more dynamic. So let's do it in 45. Okay, so like that, it's nice enough. So okay, we have to do like a couple of shapes like this one. So just duplicate it, Command D or Control D in Windows, and move it down. Delete collides with the other one. Click P for position, P for position, and move it plus 75 pixels on the Y axis. Okay, and just basically do the same as you cover the whole thing. Plus 75, Command D, duplicate, move, P for position, plus 75 pixels on the Y, and the last one here, P plus 75. Okay, so we have our bars here, and the reason why we do that is, let me show you. First, we have to do a pre-comp. So click Layer, pre-compose, move all the attributes, okay, nice. Now, we click here and look for CC sphere effect, and we add it to our pre-comp, okay? So we have our sphere, alright? But it's not the shape we want to get, because like all the lines are separated. And the way we fix this is just clicking on the pre-comp, selecting all our shapes, then selecting the rotation tool or W and moving them up. If you want to see the values, just with all them selected, just hit R. You can see the angle. And I'm gonna move them approximately into 7 degrees or so and see what we got. Alright, so it's not exact science. So the thing is that we're getting these non-continuous bars. So how we fix this? Let's go back to our precomp and move them and check again. Okay, so this may take a while, so let me do all that stuff and come back to you in a sec. Okay, so here we are again with our sphere, and it looks right. It looks perfect, right? So in the end, my values were like around 8 degrees. I moved the those shapes a little bit up and a little bit to the left, so now everything looks kind of nice. Okay, moving on. So now we have our sphere, okay? But we are going to create a background because like this is kind of sucky. Select layer, new, solid, and make it comp size. The color doesn't matter because we're gonna add a ramp effect. Sorry, yeah, to it, okay? And I want it to be radial ramp and move it to the center. Just make the first color white and the second color like gray. So change the ramp scatter to 100. Like that, so it's more diffuse. Right, move it here. Okay, so now we have our background. Next thing we're going to change is the sphere itself, because, well, you can always change these values like light and shading of the CC sphere, but, well, now I kind of like them. The only thing I don't like is the color and the perfection of the sphere. I wanted to make it more rough, and the way I do that is just with the texture. So we go to project. Well, first we go to internet, and we go to Google Images and look for a texture. In my case, I just was looking for a grunge texture, so I took this second one. I thought it was kind of okay. And well, we go back to After Effects, double click here on the project panel, and select your texture, click open, and bring it here. Okay. So once we have it here, the thing we need to do is like create a matte for our sphere. So just select toggle switches modes, and on track matte, just hit Luma Matte Pre-Comp. That way, what we're creating is like everything that's outside our shape, or everything that's not our shape, just gets obscured. We don't see it. And the thing we see is the thing that is inside our shape. So you can see the result here. The thing that it's kind of, I mean, it's good, but we can make it better. The way we can make it better, it's selecting again the CC sphere effect and moving it to our texture. So now we gain like the texture itself and all the lighting of the sphere that we can change in the future. So make sure to do something, because if you go to the comp and you move your sphere, you know, it's going to be masked by your matte. So the thing that I was telling you to do is taking this icon, this peak whip, and moving it to the composition. That way our texture is going to move with our sphere. Well, once we have the texture of our sphere, we need to animate it. The way we set the keyframes before doesn't make any sense, because our sphere is animating like that, and we want it to be animated from the bottom to the top. So we fix that just by hitting U on the first one and the second. The thing we want to achieve is here, when this first bar or shape it's almost to the end of the completion, we want the next one to be on the start. Okay, so we go to this one, to the second one, and we offset it in the way we can see it starting when the other one is ending. We do the same with the next ones. First we move here forward in time, and like that. Move again. stay on the point where our last one is almost finished and move the next one to the point where it's almost starting. And here, and the last one, like that. So now we have to check if everything is okay, or we have to tweak it a little bit more, because maybe there's some delays, maybe here. Could be like 1 or 2 dropped keyframes. Not here, not here, and not here. So everything seems to be fluid and okay. So that's the first time it happens like that, but to me. But if you have any problems, just tweak these values like that, move them forward or backwards in time, so you don't get like a bar that stops and then the next one starts like a couple of frames before, because you want it to be fluid. So we have it like that. So next thing we have to do, it's like well, in my first animation I set the rotation to 90. That way we could see like the animation being generated from the bottom of it. And we go here to where it starts, we set a keyframe for rotation on X, and we move forward in time. And when it finishes, we set it to 0. Okay? Well, maybe it's better to leave the animation a little bit more forward in time, so we can see the spiral, and then, so that way it seems like it's just two-dimensional, and then we see that it's 3D, well, even if it's simulated 3D. And one thing we can do is go here in the start of the animation and set a keyframe for rotation Y on the CC sphere effect and move in time again, and when it finishes we can do like that. So that way the sphere is rotating on the Y-axis to here. Alright. Well, your computer's probably going to be better than mine, but you get the idea, right? Alright. Okay, cool. Nice. So the thing that I want to do now is, I kind of like it, but I would like to make it more, not so perfect. So there's an effect called roughen edges that we can add here. And you see, like, the edge of our shape, it's distorted. And we can change the value of the border to 20. Come here to the start. And hit U again to see where your keyframe is. So the keyframe for the border, and move here to the end and set it to 0. So that way we end with a perfect shape. And we start with a shape like that. Maybe you want to leave it, like distorted. It's kind of cool. So you guys play with those values. This is a pretty cool effect. So you can achieve multiple variations of the thing we're doing here. All right. So we have this sphere, and the next thing we're going to be doing is adding some text. So we come here, select the text tool, click here, and write something stupid like simplicity, and make it bold, maybe a little bit bigger. Move it to the center like that. Okay, duplicate it, move it here, and write something like makes it better. What does make it better? I don't know, but it makes it better. So change it to light, maybe a little bit smaller, and move it to the center. something like that. Maybe you can just take this value and you like this. Well, something like that. You get the idea, right? Okay, so what we can do now, just hit U, see where the animation is ending, or maybe move a little bit, before in time. Maybe move this a little bit down, like that. Okay, and set keyframes for the opacity. So just put this to 0. If you have both them selected, they are going to change. So click for the stopwatch, move it forward in time, like that, and select them again, and set it to 100. Okay, so let's check out what we have so far. Well, so basically we did what we wanted to do. It's pretty basic, but we created an ribbon sphere, we animated it, so it seems like it's 2D, and then turns out to be that it's 3D. Well, not 3D, but and well, it's pretty basic. We could always play with some of the CC Sphere settings like light, shading, and I remember we have 2 CC Spheres here, so we could play with both of them. We could change the color with adding some curves, playing with the text, adding some glows or shadows on the sphere again, adding the camera, moving, panning or zooming in, zooming out, and lots of stuff. So yeah, basically that was it. We could complicate it more, but remember that simplicity makes it better, always. So far that's it. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was useful for you or enjoyed it. We covered like some basic effects, but you know we got what we wanted, so I'm pretty happy with it. It taught me many things, so I hope you learned a little bit from it. And well, maybe you guys see you later in the next tutorial if there's one. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.